Digital products are a great way to make money, and with so many public domain images, drawings, books available for free, you can easily scale your business and quickly go full time, especially with digital designs that you can sell on Etsy and beyond. With digital products, you do not need any inventory. What you need is a computer, graphic design software, and a bit of time. Once you create a digital product, you can sell it over and over on many marketplaces. Today we'll have a look at Etsy, particularly at digital products created based on public domain works. In some examples, the freely available images were only slightly edited. If you're interested in scrapbooking, junk journals, and vintage style images in general, then you will really enjoy this video. So what is public domain? In short, public domain works are free from copyright. In most cases, the copyright has expired and wasn't renewed. The type of the work did not fall under copyright, or simply the copyright has not been applied to the work. Public domain exists for a few reasons. One of them is to allow all people free access to the works from distant past. The second one, and I think that they should lead with this one, is to create upon new works, to use what was already created and come up with new approach, as you will see in this video. Some sellers are very crafty when it comes to creating new works from forgotten treasures of our culture. If you're interested in reading more about public domain, then check the links below the video. Etsy is the biggest marketplace for digital products of pretty much all sorts, as you will see in this video. It is my favorite site to sell on, and it is a great source to brainstorm and find ideas for digital products to sell. In this video there are over 100 examples of products created from free books, paintings, drawings, maps of all sorts, various types of prints, even from old audio recordings. Many of these products are created for a particular niche like scrapbooking. We will see all spectrum of products, and by far this is not all of them. There are niches within the niches, and I have not included all of that. So sit, relax and watch the whole video. I am sure that you will be as much surprised as me when I was doing research for this. So when you find a digital product that you will like, or you would like to start creating, take a note of the time where the product appears in this video and come back to it later. Use the same keywords to search for similar products in that niche. And when you will be ready to embark on your journey with your own Etsy store, then check the link below, as you can get 40 free listings right off the bat when you open a store through the link.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift off.
Altered old paintings. These designs are gaining in popularity. They are funny, quirky, whimsical, and in most examples, they are very easy to create. You just need the artwork, which is free to download, and add a bit of your imagination, a funny motif, funny quote, simply put, add your own spin to it, and you have a design. Many of these shops are specializing in this type designs only. Next we have admission tickets. These tickets are in the junk journal scrapbooking niche. They are great for gift bags, parties. The tickets are created mainly from existing works, joined together in a nice crafty way. Many sellers are adding these to other products in similar niche and sell as bundles. Next up we have antique banknotes, or old paper money. These are from various countries, no longer in circulation. Look at the way how they are presented. Wooden background, old rusty A4 design, and the banknotes are placed on top. I like the way the shop owner presented. It adds value to it. Next we have Apothecary Labels. These labels are used in both physical and digital products. There are shops that are specializing with mixing those labels with jewelry, invitations, cards, even though they are bottle labels. Great market is in witchcraft, wizardry niches, for like magic potion bottles. The opportunities here are mind-blowing. Next one we have Bible versus prints. With scripture and the holy books, you can choose various routes. Even though the first two designs do not look old, the Bible itself is in public domain, hence you can use it for commercial project. But bear in mind that not every Bible is actually in the public domain, so double check it before you spend time creating countless designs. Last design is quite nice, comes on various backgrounds. With prints niche, you can create a lot of different designs or adopt the old ones. Like in the next example, Bird prints. Bird prints illustrations that you can find in old books are stunning and very popular on Etsy too. Look at the price tag. It is way higher than some of the other products. And this is digital download too. Yes, you are selling multiple prints, but still, once you actually create the images and upload them, you kind of forget about them. And with this type of illustrations, there is not really a lot of work. Well, it all depends how big the print you want to sell, what background, but still, most of the time you're cleaning the image, cutting it out, not designing anything. Well, with the next example, there actually is a fair bit of designing. But let's have a look at birthday invitation. This type of printable is very popular on Etsy. There always will be birthday parties. Even if people will stop sending printed invitations, they will be sending digital invites via email or social media. What you can do here is to go a bit further and sell your service in the form of personalization and make a bit extra. There are sites that allow you to upload your design and allow your customer to choose a font, type in all the details themselves. You'll pay extra for this as a seller, but you'll save on time that you have to spend in countless messages, tenfold. Next one on the list is blank diploma certificates. This is a great hit during the graduation season. You can find these in some libraries or create from parts of the images too. Next we have blue china designs. These are beautiful designs that come as a digital paper design. We'll see more niches in later examples, but blue china in particular is quite popular. Have a look at the reviews underneath the listings gallery. Based on my experience, you're getting about 20% of reviews, tops, versus the number of sales. The other indicator is if we scroll down to the very bottom of this page, there is a number of people who added this product to their favorites. And in both examples, the numbers are very high. Yes, they were accumulated probably during past 2-3 years, maybe even longer, but still, to get over 2,000 favorites on one product is quite an achievement. Next we have bookmarks. These are great products to create because they do not take a lot of time. And they are selling. Once you have a shape, you're just positioning the artwork on top and pretty much that's it. You will spend more time designing the gallery images than the actual products. All these designs are in public domain. And even the autumn printable is, unless the seller actually took the shots themselves. But still, all these are very beautiful products too. Next we have 4 products that fall in the same category. Borders, corners, dividers, and flourishes. These products you can use in designing books, invitations, prints, t-shirts, even furniture. Most of these come from antique 15th, 16th century manuscripts or old books. What I would like to suggest is when you embark on a research trip for a set of, let's say, bird illustrations, and you see nice frames, borders, corners, and flourishes, then have already created folder or folders where you can quickly download a page and park it for the time when you'll have 10 plus designs. As looking only for these will be a bit difficult, but I can assure you that when you'll be looking for other stuff, you will come across these. One way or another, you'll always come across the things which you didn't plan to find. Next we have prints again. This time we have botanical prints, flower prints, and ferns in particular are very popular, in both color and black and white, or even sepia, like we see on the first design. People like to buy botanical prints in sets. They simply look way better. So in my opinion, it's much better to actually create a set instead of just one print. That way you can maximize the value that you're giving to the customer and also your earnings. Next we have bottle caps. Well, even though they are called bottle caps, they might be used in jewelry, magnets, and other products that probably I do not know about. It's always worth to look below the listings gallery, as many customers are adding images of the end product along with the review. Next we have calendar cards. These are quite popular and easy to create. In general, all printable stationery is popular on Etsy, and when you have a vintage design in your shop, why not add a vintage stationery, right? You already have the eyeballs of vintage junk journal lovers, so it is only logical approach for an upsell. You can add a page or two in the form of a freebie to a matching product and a link to the full version. Some customer will convert, some will be happy that they get a freebie and will be more willing to leave a positive review. Next we have Cigar Bands. To be perfectly honest, I did not know the use for these until I found a peek at the images and reviews submitted by customers. And wow, people are printing these on edible paper and wrap around chocolate cigars. How cool is that? Next we have something in the same ballpark. Cigar Box Labels. There is a market for these labels too. People are using them for scrapbooking, junk journal designs, decoupage, fabric transfers, and many other things which I cannot even think of. There will be a follow-up movie to this one, a list of physical products mixed with public domain works on Etsy. Make sure to subscribe to my channel. Next we have cigarette cards. In the late 19th century, cigarette manufacturers often included collectible cards with their cigarettes to stiffen the packaging and to advertise the brands. It all started in USA, then moved to UK and to other countries as well. It was very common for the tobacco companies to print on these cards actresses, baseball players, city views, just to name the few. These are great for card making, collages and scrapbooking. Next we have vintage Clipart Set. All of these, they come from old books. Most of the digital download Clipart sets that I've seen on Etsy are in color. But there are also white and black drawings, etchings, mainly from old encyclopedia books and dictionaries. They can be used on a variety of projects, also for t-shirt designs, mag designs, junk journals. Many people are using these for their decorations, cards. There is a huge market for these, even though with so many sellers listing them on Etsy, you can still make a fair bit of sales. It all depends what niche you are in and what keyword you are using. Next we have Collage Sheets. These can be used on jewelry, trading cards. They are great for mixed media designs. So with, let's say, one collection of well restored large old illustrations, you can create several different products. That is the beauty of digital files. You can have one image and create 5 products in different sizes, and you'll have 5 different customers buying them and using for 5 different purposes. All you have to do is to resize them and bundle them up. Create nice gallery image and fire up an Etsy listing. That's pretty much it. Next up we have coloring pages. Coloring pages are quite popular on Etsy and on other places like Creative Fabrica too. They're used by both adults and children. All these come from public domain works. Here I can see that some were children's book illustrations, others are travel posters, advertising posters. You can mix old and new designs together and create interesting one-of-a-kind printable coloring book. And if you think it through, you can create coloring books for Kindle books publishing. And as an upsell, direct traffic to your Etsy store or your site. That's a smart way to actually maximize your efforts and get more sales. Next up we have comics. They are a great source for a designer and Etsy seller. As you can see on these examples, you can edit the comic book covers and create posters, but bear in mind that you cannot really use any trademark materials, like character's name, as it might get you in trouble, so I would recommend staying away from that. But you can also sell whole collections of comics as downloads, or as a physical product on disc or pen drive. There are a few other things to do with comic books. You can extract part of the design and create new things, like posters, cards, invitations. If you fit in a funny quote, you can create a t-shirt or a mag design. The options here are endless, and there are a lot of comics that are in public domain. Next one is quite interesting, and these are commercial licenses. If you start selling your own printables and digital files on Etsy, believe me that you will get asked for the commercial license. So you do not want to miss an opportunity like that. Many crafters need a license for their handmade products like jewelry, furniture. If you're in a junk journal sphere, then some people are selling already made junk journals for $100+. Selling commercial licenses is a great way to make a bit more money than what you get from single design. And if you get a good customer, then they can even advertise your shop on their page, which in the end might bring you more customers. Next up we have courses. If you have experience and knowledge in any topic, you can sell courses on Etsy too. You will not find a whole course that is in the public domain, but there are a lot of books, posters, even old video files that you can use and get inspiration from. You can use supporting files, books or articles as sources. Obviously, you'll need to add your own style, your knowledge, and examples from more recent times. But there is a lot of materials to go through in the public domain, so if this is something that you would like to do, Etsy might be yet another avenue for your course sales journey. There are sellers that create courses after years of selling on Etsy, either by their customers' demand, or maybe just as another product. If you have the skill to do that, then do it. It might be a bit more time consuming than editing 10 files and creating a collage sheet, but you'll make 10 or maybe even 20 times more. Next we have crochet patterns. Crocheting PDF patterns are quite popular, and there are sellers that make a living just by selling PDF crochet patterns. If you know crocheting, you can design your own patterns using various apps, and even just by looking on various old images, an experienced crocheter will be able to recreate the pattern. Next we have cross-stitching patterns. Similarly to crocheting patterns, cross-stitching patterns are sold as PDF files on Etsy. They have much larger customer base. What is great about these is that you can create them using software that turns a photo into cross-stitching pattern and spits out PDF file, which you have to edit for Etsy, but that's about it. You can turn all paintings into cross-stitch tapestries and sell them on Etsy as a digital download. Next one kind of belongs to altered paintings example, but not exactly. And these are custom royal portraits. They are still quite popular to sell on Etsy, in both formats as posters and as digital download. This is a cool idea for a gift, even if you are gifting yourself. The quality and techniques varies. Some designers are retouching the images, hence the price for one digital download they are charging nearly $30. And some are just blending in the image. Others are creating a vector from the file supplied by a customer and doing it their own way. If you have the skill, that is yet another way that you can make money. What I've noticed that some of these shops offer various effects of retouching, so their customer base will be quite high, as they not only offer royal portraits, but a lot more. Next we have all sorts of maps that are created based on publicly available data, not the usual old maps. And these are cycle, ski, trail maps. Clearly these guys know what they are doing. They have niched down to a level that they only attracting a certain type of customers. People who love outdoor sports, people who love mountains with a bit minimalist decor style. These posters are great gifts for most of the occasions. They are delivered as digital download JPEG files. Next up we have dictionary pages. They are sold as bundles, a single blank page with illustrations placed on top, and sold as printable posters. All of them come from public domain, both the background image of an old dictionary page and the image placed on top of it. You can place pretty much any design on top of the old page. I've seen various quotes, old designs, modern designs. As a background, some sellers are using old dictionary pages, old encyclopedia pages, or old sheet music. If you decide to sell physical prints, then I suggest to search for the books on eBay, Gumtree, Craigslist, or Ebooks. Alternatively, other auction houses and your local antique stores. Also, it will be worth to mention that a printer loaded from the top will save you a lot of time. And don't ask me how I know it. Next up we have digital paper. These papers are great fun to create. You can spend a minute and you can easily spend a few hours on creating these. Some sellers are going the extra mile and they create multi-layer designs in Photoshop. Others, they focus on using an old book page. In most cases, the page is showing signs of wear or damage, and pretty much the more the better, and they are adding a design on top. I've seen people selling slightly edited maps as digital paper. In the previous product examples, we have already seen what you can create and sell as digital paper. Literally everything you can think of. This is a great way to start your business. If you're planning to open a store on Etsy, then check the link in the description below the video. You can get 40 free listings when you register your shop on Etsy through my link. Next up, we have vintage digital planners. Digital planners are a great way to make money. They are fairly easy to create and they do not take a lot of space. In all the examples, the designer has mixed public domain illustrations with modern designs of planner layouts. Digital planners are very popular on Etsy, and if you're thinking about going this route, then check Etsy for other designs with a modern look. This niche is very profitable for some sellers, as their orders are reaching thousands of downloads a day. And that's every single day. Diorama. This is something that I have not come across in my journey through the countless searches on public domain archives. Yet, this is something that you can sell. And once you find it, there is really not much of designing. Most of the time with this type of products, you will be resizing, trimming, aligning, and changing the color and maybe brightness of the file. If you'll do any changes at all, that's another product to add to your vintage design store. Next we have Doll's House Miniature Books. This is yet another great niche for digital download products. And once you have source files edited, it is a very quick process. This store was featured in several magazines about doll houses. That is one of the reasons why they sold so many designs. The other is they specialize in a very niche product where not many sellers are in. Next up we have Domino Tiles. This is yet another product where you can repurpose already edited files by just changing its size. And as we see here, there are all sorts of designs, old photos and illustrations on these domino tiles. Even old paintings by famous artists. See, that's what you can do when you start a shop on Etsy with vintage ephemera products for scrapbookers. Watch this video till the end, take notes and come back to the examples, check the individual stores and create a list of products that you can potentially sell. Pick a niche or topic for the designs, download the free public designs, edit them and start creating the products. If you do not know where to start looking for public domain works, then check other videos on my channel. There are links to various playlists in the description below. Next we have ebooks. You can create ebooks based on what is in public domain, and there are millions of forgotten books from the past that you can sell. Like for example this seller, he is only changing a cover. Maybe adds a table of contents, maybe not, and the rest was already created, so he combines the files into a PDF and new product is created. You can find all out of copyright books being sold in print in unedited form on Amazon, eBay and other sites. Some sellers are creating whole collections on one topic and selling 100 books or more as a digital download. These are not hosted on Etsy. More likely they are uploading all the books into Google Drive and generate the download link. Then a person who buys on Etsy downloads a text file or PDF with a link to the collection. Next up we have Embroidery Patterns. These are sold as PDF files. They are quite popular. Also, you can create these using software, simply by uploading an image. And with so many images available for free, this is quite good niche to break into. If you are interested in embroidery and handcraft, you can combine all the pattern types for crocheting, cross-stitching and embroidery and create a nice store that will provide you with an automated income. Next we have envelope templates. They are great for vintage crafts lovers, and as we see, are made from old letters, stamps, even ledger book paper with an overlay of circus graphic, or they are in their original form. Basically, what you can create with a vintage flair, you can sell on Etsy, as there is a huge customer base for these types of products. Next we have family tree templates. These are really cool as gifts. Actually, my sister-in-law has made a couple and gifted them to her mom and her husband's parents. But she went a bit further and done all the research about their families right down to the end of 18th century. I remember her traveling all over the country and checking old archives in some small churches. It took her a good part of a year to create them, and she also bought a template off the internet. So you can create these by yourself using vintage graphics or download them and resell after editing like these sellers here. Next we have flashcards. These are great teachers' resources and simply for homeschooling as well, especially nowadays. They are very easy to create by utilizing the images from old books, or to simply enhance the old flashcards. I've recently started thinking about this for my daughter as she is getting to an age where I can start teaching her using flashcards. Next up we have fonts. These can be a great addition to a shop that sells vintage junk journal designs, or simply a shop that specializes in vintage typography or calligraphy. Did you know that you can actually use software to design your own fonts? By scanning a sheet of your own hand-drawn letters, or by extracting the font types from antique books. There are much better places to sell fonts. Having said that, fonts on Etsy are growing in numbers. More and more people are selling these. Next up we have vintage food labels. These are great for jams, pickles and other food products that are preserved usually for the winter season. And they are also sold on Etsy. Next we have vintage frames. As you can see, all sorts of frames actually. Some were extracted from old books and some were taken from old paintings that are shown in many museums, whose collections are uploaded online in a form of JPEG. You can easily download these and use for commercial purpose. Next we have vintage games. These are great for Halloween parties. I've seen games for weddings, bingo sets, domino games, memory games. There are many possibilities here. You can check the archives for old books with games and based on that create graphics for them and sell it as a digital download on Etsy. Great fun to actually play these. Well, if you're into games. Next we have healing cards. These are great for people who are into herbal remedies, natural healing, junk journaling, scrapbooking, or creating herbal oils. It is not difficult to create these, but you would have to do your due diligence and a proper research for herbal oil recipes. Next up we have Heraldry and coat of arms clip art. These are great as a print, poster. Some people are researching their family history and will buy these too. An extra tip here, there are a lot of sellers on Etsy who are selling the original antique book pages. So in many cases, when you come across a physical print that has been taken out of the actual book, then you will be provided with a lot of details, as physical antique print sellers are not hiding those details, so it is beneficial to find a seller or two and go through their catalog, as they have really nice material. Then you can start searching for books with those pages, edit them and create digital products. Next up we have home plans. These are great as a reference for architecture students or hobbyists, people who either bought an old house or are thinking about buying and want to refurbish it by themselves. These go well with vintage shed plans, furniture plans, or old ways of making furniture. Next up we have Hope style prints. The design itself has come out during Obama presidential campaign in 2008. And as you see here, there are various other famous people on these posters. And they can be sold as custom designs, where a customer buy a product, then upload his or her image and you create it. This way you can charge much more than what you would charge for already made designs, but it takes a lot longer, mostly because of the customer service. Next we have illuminated manuscript images. There are lots and lots of antique manuscripts available for free. Many of them are in great condition as they were well cared for. The detail that they were created with is astonishing. These pages are used for various types of products, both digital and physical, and they do not require any work whatsoever. Well, maybe some pages you will have to resize, but other than that, they are good to go. The question is where to find these. Well, if you've been following my channel, then you have probably already seen various archives that we can do the research. If not, then check my other videos once you finish with this one. Next we have junk journals. Something that I've been repeating throughout this video several times already. But we have seen things that can be added to junk journals or that we can use as a base. So how do actually junk journal looks like? Well, as it says on the tin, there are journals with junk paper, scraps of paper, mixed ephemera, or like the ones on Etsy with pre-designed papers that look old. Most of the time they have various pages, tags, bookmarks, pockets, all in the same theme. Some are cheap and some are reaching the prices of $50 or more for the whole kit. Bear in mind that these are a bit more time consuming than most of the products that we have already seen, but it all comes to good research and organization. Skills that you can easily learn. What you need before is a list of things that are in the kit along with sizes. Then you can create templates which can be used for hundreds of junk journals. And if you decide on the theme, then start doing a research for the images and do the design. That's what I would do if I would be creating a product like this. What I have noticed is that a lot of seasoned sellers that are in a vintage junk journal niche are actually YouTubers. And they create videos where they are presenting a printed journal with all the pages and extras and talking about it. Basically, those are videos of their hands and printed pages. Thanks to that, they advertise their products in stores. They build up a following, and whenever they release a new kit, they also producing a new video about it. It works like email marketing. Their sales are spiking. Next we have yet another type of patterns, and these are knitting patterns. Yet again we have PDF patterns. These are great for all the knitting lovers. Once you get into the pattern niches, you will find so much stuff that you can sell. I've seen shops on eBay selling patterns on DVD discs or printed by the seller. Next we have lace designs. These are sold as transparent PNGs, as clipart designs for creating your digital papers or other ephemera products. Next we have ledger paper, another ephemera product that can be used for junk journal, scrapbooking, craft paper, simply put as part of another design. You can find a lot of these pages in the form of old scans, with and without handwriting. And next we have magazines. As you can imagine, old magazines are a huge source of various works. Some people are using the old articles and rewrite them slightly, some are using the graphics, and some are using adverts. And like in these examples, you can use the cover page and create a poster too. And next we have old maps. I just wanted to show you a few examples of antique maps that are downloaded from public domain sources and turned into printed maps. They are printed on large format cotton canvas, so you would need to have a large format printer and quite a lot of space. And nice interiors to hang these and shoot cool images. But still, have a look at the price tag. The prices are very high. The product is of high quality, stylized in a way that's actually matching nicely the old map, giving a perfect effect. The two listings are very good examples of what people are creating with public domain works in the physical products world. Let's check other maps. Here we have a smaller sizes maps on quality paper. The price tag is way lower, but it will be appealing to more customers as these are great looking old maps, and I can bet that they turn up quite nicely when printed. I've done a few tests on my printer and the outcome is superb. Maps are one of the public domain works that do not need a lot of work. Some cosmetics, but not too much. And you can print it right away. The colors are great even on a matte paper. The digital download projects are most likely small format files that you can print on home photo printer. And as we see here, the designers are creating various effects by adding colors, backgrounds. In general, I've seen some designers creating 5 sets of the same maps, but all were in different colors. Well, good idea maybe to create a bundle, and get a few extra dollars, but in longer perspective, the listing fees will eat you alive. That's provided that you would continue this approach on Etsy with all of the products. If you're doing that for the purpose of testing, that's alright. It is still a good idea to create designs in multiple colors. If you're creating for your blog or for sites like Creative Market, where you do not pay any listing fees for every single upload. In my opinion, maps are perfect words that can be turned into multiple products. And the good thing is that there are hundreds of thousands of old maps and a never-ending supply of ideas. Next we have marriage certificates. That is another great idea for a product that you can use the public domain works for. It needs a few edits here and there, but you can create nice certificates and sell as printables. Moreover, if you cannot find the original certificates, you can create a certificate from the scratch by simply using vintage clipart, vintage fonts on a vintage looking background. It all depends on your skills, which are not very difficult to learn anyway. Next we have Matchbox Labels. These are great for scrapbookers, junk journals. They are tiny, they look nice, and what is most important, once you find one, you find all. Well, at least on one site, as these are most of the time part of a larger collection. Next we have Matchbox Templates. If you are in a vintage ephemeral world, then all box templates are great to have, not difficult to create, and once you have the actual template, then the rest is just taken from cliparts, posters, single book pages, as we can see in these examples. Next are math prints. Math symbols, equations, algorithms are in the public domain. These are not so difficult to create, and if you are into math, then it's even easier. But all in all, this is a good product for a niche store. Next are paper model planes. These are great for all the aviation fans, especially the warplanes. Most likely these come from old magazines that are in public domain already. And next we have molecule prints. They are minimalistic, very easy to create, and if you have math prints, physics prints, molecule prints, then you'll have a great idea for a shop tackling a few niches that are kind of overlapping with each other. As many people that like chemistry are into biology, math prints will pair nicely with physics, and all these equations, molecular structures are public domain. Next we have monogram letters. Vintage monogram letters are in many books, and these can be edited fairly easy. You can even go an extra mile and create SVG files if you have vector editing software. They are a great addition to a store that sells ephemera products or is into calligraphy. You can use these and create practice pages. Or as we see in the last example, if you know how to draw or correctly edit the antique monographs, then you can even get into wedding niche. This store makes a killing selling digital downloads of what it looks like old design that are in the old books. However, the amount of time that went into restoring the original work is far greater than what we have seen in the first three examples. Nonetheless, they are charging about $30 for each design. Now, that is a great idea to sell digital designs that will bring a nice income too. And next we have Montessori Cards. These are basically flashcards. Designs are created using modern images that are in the public domain, or at least they could be. These are a great teaching resource, and if you are trying to break into teaching materials niche, then this will be a must-have product for your store, especially if you are planning to create coloring pages, tracing designs. The Montessori cards will pair nicely with the kindergarten printables. Next are old movie posters. These are great prints to sell in print and as digital downloads. Most of the materials that are available are high quality poster scans or images that do not require a lot of editing. What you need to be aware is the copyrights and double check whether this poster is actually in the public domain, as I've seen several modern movie posters here on Etsy. So if you will be looking for inspiration and doing your research, make a note that movies from the 80s, 90s, 2000, they're not in the public domain, and these shops are breaking the law selling copyrighted works. On top of selling copyrighted works, you might be using trademarks, so you have to watch for that too. Next we have national parks posters. As with other posters, you can sell both physical prints and digital downloads. They are fairly easy to create. You can choose two different approaches and either use the old posters that are in the public domain and restore them, or create your own using modern images that are in the public domain too, using vector editing software like Adobe Illustrator or its free equivalent Inkscape. And next we have old book covers. They are very easy to make products. And to be honest, with millions of old ebooks available, this is one of the things that you should have in your store if you want to break into vintage ephemera printables niche. Old covers are one of many elements that you can get from antique books. And you can sell these as is or slightly edited. We'll see in the next few examples what else can be rescued from scanned old books. Next are old book pages. That is another product that you can create simply in addition to your main product that you are doing research for. Let's say that you are searching through archive.org for books with period illustrations. Then you might have checked many books before you find what you like, and in addition to that you will come across old damaged blank pages, cool covers, all the goodies that can be used as a texture for another design. Simply, that is the way that you should work when you are getting into designing based on public domain works. You're building your own database and resource library. This is simply a byproduct of your research. Do not try to search for blank pages on its own. You will get discouraged by the vast amount of sources that you have to check. Based on my customers' feedback, and by comparison, it is worth to have blank pages, damaged blank pages, old pages with handwriting and with calculations too. Next we have old book plates. This is the same situation, no point to search on its own, but well worth to have that in mind when you are searching for something else. That's another byproduct of your research. These can be usually found on the third or fourth page of the book, so right at the very beginning, a place where most of us will skip when searching for the illustrations that are a bit further inside the old book. Judging by the number of people who added these to their favorites, this is a popular product for scrapbooking niche. Next we have old-fashioned posters. They are sold as digital download and physical art prints posters. And there is a lot of them that you can use, especially the Audrey Hepburn ones. But having said that, I've researched quite a few examples of various posters before I started recording, and sadly in a space of a week, half of them were taken down. And it was in one seller, so that means that there was something fishy going on with them. What I'm trying to say is stay away from copyrighted material, because sooner than later Etsy will remove them and most likely will ban your account in the process. And next up we have old newspapers. These are used as textures, backgrounds and as a wrapping paper. Really cool idea, and it fall into scrapbooking niche quite nicely. Easy to create. This is yet another digital product that you will spend more time designing the gallery images to showcase your product than the actual product. And next we have old photo bundles, another digital product that can be created very quickly based on the reaches from public domain archives. If you are building a scrapbooking printable store, it is best to list these as bundles, sets of images. However, if you are in the movie niche, then you might find that it is best to actually list one or two images of individual actors. It all depends what you want to sell and what niche you are targeting. You will get more sales of bundles of old images if you sell junk journal supplies. And next we have old recipes. Many people are on a hunt for old recipes to discover the forgotten ways of cooking. This digital product will equally be popular in the cooking niche and in the scrapbooking niche. Next up we have old sheet music. That is yet another product in the scrapbooking niche that can be quickly created, and if you want to go the extra mile, then you can even modify it further. This example is a bestseller with over 1,000 favorites. They clearly must be doing something right here. This design was added in 2020. The store has well over 318,000 sales. in just 6 years. A hint here, if you're planning to create digital products for junk journal niche, then take a note of their store name and do a further research. Apply all the methods to your store, to your marketing campaign. Do not copy the designs, do not copy the descriptions, but read. The more descriptions of successful stores you'll read, the easier we'll get creating your listing description, and you'll start noticing similarities. Next up, we have old tickets. These are great for scrapbook and junk journal lovers. You can sell these as is or add your own twist to it and sell blank tickets that can be used as party invites. Next we have old-time radio recordings. Even though I was born in the 80s and English is not my first language, I still have a lot of fun listening to American old radio recordings from 40s and 50s. If you manage to get a fairly good quality recording, you get thousands of hours of comedy, suspense, sci-fi, westerns, you name it. All of them you can sell on Etsy as digital files. And bear in mind that Etsy only allows 5 files. However, there are sellers who upload a few gigabytes to, for example, Google Drive, generate a link, and upload a PDF or a text file with the link to that collection. Some sell these as DVDs and ship by post. Even if you do not want to sell these, give it a try and listen to a few. And next up we have paper doll models. There are 2 approaches here. You can sell what was already created, and editing will be short and sweet, a bit of cleaning and you'll have a ready to upload digital design product, or you can create your own based on the vintage clipart images. And that seems to be working for this seller, as I've checked a few of her listings and all of them were bestsellers. To create this type of product, it might take a while as you'll need to have a collection of base files. Like old women photos, old-fashioned illustrations. Overall, I believe that the designer had a lot of fun creating these sets, as they look very funny. And next we have paper toys. We've already seen plain models, paper dolls, but there is more. There are dolls' houses, paper bridges, paper buildings, even Eiffel Tower. If I would dig even deeper, I have a feeling that I would find a lot more in this niche. Next we have party banners. They are easy to create and you can easily target a few niches here. Sport, cars, maps, that is yet another use for antique maps. Some designers go even further with their creativity and they are allowing customers to choose their own fonts by uploading to a service called Corgi. Next up we have party masks. If you're in the party printable niche, then these are perfect products. And it's super easy to design too. Once you have a library of funny looking people, creating the cutout is a very straightforward process. Next up we have patents. Blueprint designs are really cool and there are millions available for free. Most of the older ones require a lot of editing or cleaning, as these are old scans and there are a lot of artifacts, lots of fluff to clean, but after a few you will be a master eraser in Photoshop. These are perfect as digital download files and printed on quality photo paper or canvas. You'll find patent even on t-shirts or mugs, and as we can see there are different ways of adding a little bit extra to them. Most of the patent sellers will have them either on chalkboard, blueprint or vintage looking background, which they had to design themselves. And next we have vintage perfume labels. These are great for scrapbookers, card making, tags, even for fabric transfers. As you have probably noticed, all of these shops bundle them up and sell as sets. They are quite small and most of the time one-page design will be more than enough. Next up we have phone wallpapers. I'm not quite sure how popular just phone wallpapers are. Having said that, if you combine these with icons, widgets, you will get interesting products. And let's face it, these days a lot of people are using smartphones and many of them are into vintage styles. Some are buying skins or phone holders with vintage images printed on them. Others want to see vintage looking icons on the screen. And next we have Photoshop brushes. If you are a Photoshop user, one way or the other you are using brushes. These are created from old graphics, clipart images, even torn paper edges. You can create a Photoshop brush pretty much from any image. They are aimed at Photoshop users who love vintage styles. But you can also procreate brushes and brushes for other software packages. And next we have playing cards. Designing your own deck of cards will be quite a challenge, but enjoyable challenge. Cards are great as digital products. They do require you to do a bit of planning and have a rich library of source files. Here we have a few examples. Most popular vintage digital downloads are with motifs from Alice in Wonderland books. And there are various editions of this great work, illustrated by famous artists. All of the older ones are in the public domain, so there is a lot to choose from. Here we have a deck of hunters playing cards from the end of 15th century. The designer done a great job by adding all the images. Even a short video is here. This is a perfect example of how the Etsy listing should look like. In terms of gallery, I'm not quite sure about the personalization requirement here, to agree that this is a digital product. When on the checkout you'll see a similar message from Etsy. I guess this is something that they want to have out the way and confirm twice. And next we have vintage printable boxes. Great idea for digital design product, especially in party niches. There are all sorts of designs here. Great for gifts, especially if you can find an Alice in Wonderland fan or any other niche for that matter. Then getting a birthday gift in this type of DIY box is one of a kind experience. And next we have printable coupons. There are various things that come to mind what you can put on the coupons, but that is the best idea that they can come up with. The Valentine's coupon are awesome idea for couples. On top of the pre-made coupons, you can design just a layout, a template, and allow an option to modify by the customer. And next we have printable recipe blank pages. These are easy to design. You need a selection of cooking related clipart, and the rest is easy generated by software like InDesign. But you will be able to use Canva to design these as well, very easily. And next we have quad posters with a twist. These look very nice, and the base graphics can be downloaded from this page. I also have a video about that particular source. Link will pop up now in the top right corner. Make sure to open it and watch later once you finish with this video. The second link is for a whole bundle of retro images with quotes on top of them. Cool idea and quite catchy to actually sell physical posters with these quotes. And next we have vintage repair manuals. All manuals are in a huge demand. What you might have to remember is that not all are in the public domain, especially not the modern ones. Manuals from 1920s, 30s, maybe even 40s. They are not copyrighted. Nonetheless, you still need to do a fair bit of research before you digitize it and list for sale. And next we have scrapbooking journal paper. This is a backbone of all designs for scrapbooking niche. Some papers are so beautiful. It took a lot of planning to design these. If you start designing the scrapbooking journal papers, then soon you realize that there are so many options and variations that you can design, so many versions of the same design, but in a different colors, shades. Using Photoshop, you can design one page and add various clip arts with different opacity values, and you will create multiple pages so easy. This is a great fun to design. However, if you plan ahead, then you will create a journal pages, tags, envelopes, pockets, bookmarks, all in one niche, one style, and cross-promote them in every listing, in the gallery, and in the description. You can also add a freebie to the initial download and a coupon for a next purchase. And next we have sky maps. This is a great product for a gift. You can start creating a bit simpler designs and move to more difficult and complicated designs that will generate much more money. There are a few parts of the design. Most are in the public domain, like the actual star map, the backgrounds that can be downloaded from NASA site. All are free. What is left are fonts, and the fact whether you want to go digital with this product or print. I would do both. You can sell physical prints and create one listing for downloads and add an image to the physical prints listing advertising the digital download option and pointing into a link in the description, or add the digital option to physical and have them both listed. But do not forget to show that to the customer in your graphics and description. And next we have vintage soap labels. This is another product that does not require a lot of editing. You might have to straighten the original scans, do a cut here and there, but overall it is ready to go. All of these are in public domain, so you can sell them as digital downloads. And next we have Spellbooks. We have covered ebooks already, however I wanted this type of books to be here on a separate entry, as they are very popular. I have seen many shops selling herbs, magic potions, and supplies for witchcraft, and all these stores were selling spellbooks, Book of Shadows, in addition to the physical products. So if you are in this niche, or you're planning to get into, then consider mixing the products. Sell both physical and digital products. They are supplementing each other, especially in this niche. All of these ebooks were created based on the works from public domain. Modern designs were also added. Some of them are reaching $18 per book, and that's not too bad for a digital download. And next we have 1-inch squares. We've already seen circles, domino tiles, cards. Here we have 1-inch squares that are mainly used in jewelry, but they can also be made into magnets. Very easy to create, and they do not take a lot of space on the drive either. Great way to maximize your design output. And next we have stained glass designs. Everything from public domains can be sold, even stained glass. Some of them are stunning, so why not use it for your designs? If you are skilled in Adobe Illustrator or Inkscape, you can create coloring pages from these. Here we have ornament tags, a set of images, and even large format posters. All of them are digital downloads. And next we have stickers. You can create stickers from all clipart images. Literally any clipart image can be turned into a sticker. So once you have edited all the bird files, create a stickers sheet and use keywords directed at customers who are looking for vintage bird stickers. There are all sorts of stickers. If you want to design digital planners, then stickers will be great products for an upsell. You can always point out in the listing with a planner to a listing with a sticker and offer a coupon if they buy 2 or 3. People will buy more products from you that way. If you will be using this technique, then make sure to create an image for the listings gallery and mention that in the description along with the link to the extra product. This is a great way to properly use your real estate that Etsy gives you. In addition to that, the only clickable link that you can add to your listing on Etsy is a link that directs people to Etsy. So if you add a link, for example, to your email list, then a potential customer will have to copy and paste the link into a new window. But if you add a link to Etsy listing, then they can click it and go directly there. And next we have technical drawings. These are great as gifts. If done properly, they are very unique. One thing worth to mention, bear in mind that using trademark names might get you in trouble. And next we have travel tags. These are great to make and sell as digital downloads. They can be as unique as you want them to be, or very simple. You can spend a few hours designing these and playing with layer effects in Photoshop, or just place an old painting on top and create them very fast. Both types will sell. Next we have video party invites. I didn't know about these until I was doing a research for this video. Very unique way and gaining in popularity. If you know your way around video creation apps, then you can create these and add them to your product's catalog. They are custom made products, so the customer will have to provide details for them. Also worth to mention is the fact that it will be helpful to upload samples to YouTube and add the link to the listing like we see here. And next we have vintage overlay textures. Great product for digital download, especially if you want to add an older look to your photos. If we check the image gallery, we'll see that these are actually old book pages that have creases, a bit of dirt, they're damaged and uncleaned. Both sellers aim at the Photoshop users. And next we have vintage pictures. These are great to create funny looking postcards. I'm not quite sure whether selling this as a single image is a good move, but if you have really cool and funny images, it must be worth it to try and have a few in your catalog. And next we have vintage postcards. This is another product which is very easy to edit and is in the public domain. You can create front of the card as an image and back of the card in a bundle like we see here. This also applies to old letters on old envelopes, old stamps, all the post memorabilia. Let's say that someone creates a scrapbook for a postman. Then this would be great to add to a project like that. And next we have Wallpaper Prints. All of William Morris art is unique. You can create a lot of variations of the prints, with or without quotes, and with info about the artist or info about the exhibition. The original William Morris designs are in the public domain. And next we have Washi Tape. If you are into scrapbooking, junk journaling, and vintage ephemera products, this is another product that you can create really fast based on the existing designs, or you can mix a few designs and create something very unique. And next we have word cards. Great for junk journaling. You can create various styles and use various fonts for these. All depends on the topic that you want to create for. Easy to create and great addition to your vintage digital download store. And next we have word search cards. Perfect for a scrapbooker, and if you have an app, you can create the base very quickly using software. Then you can have your own paper and add a few motifs matching the theme of the word search. And that's done. We are nearly by the end of my list. The last example is war posters. There is not much of editing that goes into creating these posters, as they are high quality photographs, and these are still quite popular in both formats, as digital downloads and physical prints. I hope that by now you have a better understanding on what is possible to achieve and create with public domain works on Etsy and software like Photoshop. Some of these products or niches are very profitable, others are not so much, but if you like any of these products, then start researching Etsy for more examples. Start researching sellers for their ways of marketing, their improvements, their way of writing the listings copy, and learn from it. If you are ready to open your store, then don't forget that right below this video there is a link which will grant you 40 free listings. Not a lot, but always something. I really hope that you have enjoyed this video, and if you get any value, then please like, comment and subscribe. It will mean the world to me. I do have other videos on this channel which will show you where and how to search for public domain works. If you are hooked, then check them out and come back to this channel for more Etsy and public domain content. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.